Hi, everybody. Appreciate you coming to be with me on today's version of Convertible Conversations. I'm talking about the journey to freedom, at least my experience on that journey. And as I told you earlier this week in other sessions, that I started out with unfulfilled expectations with the religion I'd bought into. I needed an explanation. I gathered some information, and today I want to tell you what I experienced. It was agitation. Went from expectations to explanations to information to agitation. What I'd been taught all my life, religion wasn't working. And I'd bought in hook, line, and sinker, and I was even a pastor. But I just couldn't justify what I believed. As Mercy Me sings in one of their great songs, what I'd bought, I just couldn't sell. I believed that God was good all the time and loved everybody unconditionally. But there were all these conditions on his supposed unconditional love. And in the group I was in, it was pretty much taboo to even ask questions. All I got was, well, God's ways are higher than ours. Or, well, that's just what liberals believe, and you don't want to go there because we know they're wrong. So I started researching, started getting information, and I got information that not everybody believed the way I was taught. There were other equally valid ways of believing that weren't liberal, that were actually what the first church believed. I found out the Eastern Church, what I'd known nothing about before, still believed much of what the first church did, and pockets of people had always believed, which was different than me. They believed that God is unconditional love, period. And there are no buts and no exceptions, and God loves everybody unconditionally. God is all about relationship, and his ultimate plan is to restore everyone to our original relationship. That was different than what I had been taught. I learned that a lot of groups believed that Jesus' finished work at the cross is for everyone, and hell is not what I'd been taught. I learned that one absolutely valid way of thinking about hell is that hell is actually being in the presence of God's white-hot, all-consuming love as it purges and refines and purifies and burns away all of our false beliefs and attitudes. It can be painful when somebody resists, but ultimately it's restorative and never punitive, and God has all eternity to wait us out. His love never fails. I found out that God really is good all the time, and God doesn't work on an if-then deal. If you do this, then I'll bless you, and if you don't, then I won't. No, he does let us go our own way with our own free will and actually submits to our poor choices and continually works them out for our good. The net result of my search for information was extreme agitation. What was I to do? If I embraced these things I was learning, that I liked better than what I believed before, that had always been true, and that the first church and many other people believe since then, but were totally different from the whole organization that I was in, Western evangelical religion, what would that mean? I was agitated. On the one hand, what my parents and the church I grew up in and the church I pastored and my teachers and mentors were all dead set about, I couldn't buy anymore. I knew the old ways didn't work. They actually didn't help me in my time of need. And God couldn't be good all the time and still have a dark side of him that would punish certain groups of people forever just for not getting things right, especially when there are over 40,000 different denominations, each one which said they had the only right way. I had all this swirling in my mind. I wasn't really talking about it to many people yet. And the best way to describe where I was agitated. Now, that's not a bad thing, depending on what you do with it. Join me tomorrow, and we'll learn some more about my journey, which I suspect many of you can relate to. And if you can't, I know you have friends who can. See you next time. Thanks, everybody.